well, here today in the man cave, we have a 2017 Dodge Durango Citadel. This is a 5.7 liter Hemi motor. Got a call yesterday to come look at it in Seguin, and the customer complaint was it had a leak of sort. I got there and it did. It had a big old water leak. So we had it towed here and got it up on our lift, tested it, and it has a water pump that has gone bad. So we're going to get a water pump, thermostat. We're going to go ahead and flush the system, and then we'll get this thing back up and going and back to the customer. So, all right, well, we'll bring you along for this repair and hit some of the high points on it, and we'll go from there. All right, well, here we go. We got this thing started. Some of the things you're gonna need to take off. We went ahead and removed it. We've got tensioner pulley, idler pulley. Both those need to come off. There's bolts underneath it. And bolts underneath here where this tensioner pulley goes. This is where the idler pulley went. Went ahead and removed the upper hose off of here because we're going to replace this, because it's what I do when I do water pumps on these. This tool right here is going to make your life a whole lot easier to get these hoses off. And it's just a angled large pick that's made to remove these hoses. Just get down in there and break that seal. So it sure makes it a lot easier. And some of the tools you're going to need are, well, they'll make it a lot easier. This little tool right here will make it a lot easier to get these factory hose clamps off. If you've got that, if not, right here will help a lot to get that off. Possibly a pair of cutters, depending on if you're running any zip ties like I did run into. A pair of needle nose, adjustable wrench. If you've got some drills and stuff like these, impacts, they will help a lot too, and the right sockets. And there's gonna be some few wrenches you might need as well, but I hadn't run across that yet. So, but anyways, that's what you're gonna need to get this water pump off. That's what we were at getting started here. We did remove the belt, of course, because we got the tensioner and idler off. We're gonna replace the belt. Got the bottom hose ready to come off, and we'll start zipping these bolts off of here, and I'll bring you back, show you what it looks like when we get there. All right, well, we've got this water pump off. Everything here is off. This little pipe right here, getting the O-ring for it. If you buy an aftermarket water pump, it does not come with it. Nobody has it. I went all over the place looking for it. Did finally find it at the dealer. And so now I have it, and we'll start getting this thing put back together. This here is the old pump, and here's the new pump. So we'll go ahead and get the gasket installed on it, and we'll go ahead and get this thing installed. All right, here we go. We've got the water pump back on, got the thermostat back in place. Thermostat, a new housing and a thermostat in. Pipe is back in with a new O-ring. So all we gotta do now is put on the tensioner pulley, idler pulley, new belt back on, fill it with coolant, and then pressure test it and see how it does. Okay, we've got the belt put back on, tensioner pulley is back on and installed, idler pulley, belt is back on, new belt. It's best to put that on before you put this upper hose on, because this upper hose will get in your way. So do that, and that's probably be about the last thing we hook up. We're gonna put the sensor in here too, and get the air intake back on it, fill it with coolant. Right here we'll bleed it out, get as much air out of it as we can, then we'll let it run, let it get to normal operating temperature, then we'll check our fluid and make sure we have no leaks. All right, well, we've got it running at the moment. Lights are on, engine is running, we got it all cleaned off. Just looking for any leaks that might be there. I don't expect to see any, but the car did get a little hot, so we want to run it and drive it. It does have a check engine light on, so we will scan that and make sure that nothing got messed up. But right now it's running fine, it's idling good. There's no visible leaks at the moment. It's not quite up to operating temperature yet, but it is getting there. So all right, we'll bring you back whenever we test drive it and see how it does. All right, we're inside the car. We're going to, it's still sitting here in the shop. We're gonna go ahead and run a quick scan on, see what the check engine light is on for. It's getting up to operating temperature. Just sitting here idling at the moment. So let's drop in here and see what we got, what we're working with. Current vehicle identification, 2017, yes. I'm gonna do a code scan. And this will take a minute or two. All right, well, while we're waiting on this to load up, what we did is we went ahead and changed out the water pump, new thermostat, and the new housing. I've just had really bad luck with these in the past on these Hemi motors that will leak with the old one once they've been busted loose. So I went ahead and did that. We put a new belt on it as well because this thing, the water pump was leaking right there in the front. So the water and coolant was just running all over this stuff. So I cleaned the pulleys real well and went ahead and put a new belt on it, like I said, and then we topped it back off. We opened up, it has a bleeder valve on it, so we opened the bleeder valve and filled it up, got all the air out of the block. So we should be pretty much ready to go with it. You know, like I said, with it opening up the block like that. So, all right, let's see what we got here. I'm hoping it's just a coolant, low coolant sensor. Engine, intake air temperature sensor 1. So, all right, well, we're gonna go ahead and clear this and see if this comes back on. Like she said, it did not have a check engine light on before it blew. So I'm thinking that this temp sensor or air temp sensor, which is I believe right out here underneath the hood, probably got some moisture on it or coolant on it and caused it to defect. So we'll go ahead and clear it out and we'll see if it comes back on. All right, well, we'll get this cleared out and then we'll bring it back when we go for the test drive. All right, here we go. One last check. Vehicle's up to normal operating temperature. Want to make sure we don't have anything leaking, anything that we took off. We opened up that valve there. Still some residue left from when I opened it, but I will clean that out just to make sure. But I believe that's not leaking. There's no drip on the ground or anything. So all our hoses are looking good. Nothing's leaking. Water pump looks good. Everything looks really good. So it's dried up. We sprayed it down with some brake clean just to get everything, the residue off the car. All looks good. We'll go ahead and get this shield put back on. We took that off just to, just to get up under there so we could see everything and make sure. So we'll get that put back on, then we'll go test drive it and see how it works. All right, well, here we go. We're gonna go test drive this car. Currently the coolant temp is sitting at 210. Now this thing does have a 203 thermostat. That is OE for this car. So if we look here at their sensor, it's running just right below half like it should be. I guess this vehicle, they just run a little warmer than they're supposed to. But anyways, we're gonna monitor that. I have not topped it off. Like I said, I bled the system with a bleeder valve that it had that you could open. And it still showed to be full up front in the overflow canister. So we'll drop this real quick and we'll see how it performs and make sure that light doesn't come back on. All right, well, everything seems to be doing good. No check engine light back on. I've driven it about 5 miles. Temperature is holding good. Temperature here is about where it should be. 204, 205 is what the thermostat is. So it all looks real good. So we'll get it back over to the shop. We'll let it cool down. We'll check the temperature, the coolant level on it, top it off if need be, and then we'll give it back to the customer. All right, we're back at the shop. Here's the parts that we did replace. Like I said, water pump, you can hear it. Plus it moves around big time, no good. Go ahead and replace thermostat housing, thermostat itself, and new O-ring that went into where this piece is over here. There's a pipe that goes in there, new O-ring that we had to go hunt and search for. And like I said, we also replaced the belt. And we had to put new coolant in it as well. Come over here and see if we got any leaks, if we can see anything. Everything looks real good. Not seeing any leaks. Let's grab a light real quick so we can take a look under here just to make sure we're not seeing anything. All right. Looks really good. You can see the water pump there. Thermostat housing, real good and clean. Everything's good. I don't hear anything. Our coolant level still full, right where I put it, and it all looks real good. I don't see any leaks on the ground, so looks like we're good to go. All right, well, there you go. We replaced the water pump, thermostat, housing, gasket. 2017 Dodge Durango Citadel with that big 5.7 liter Hemi motor. So, all right, well, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.